Caleb lived a quiet life on Orion V, a distant colony planet. He worked as a repairman, fixing machinery and equipment for the small community. Caleb was known for his calm nature and kindness. He wasn't rich or famous, but people knew they could count on him when things went wrong. One evening, as the sun began to set over the rugged mountains, an alarm echoed through the colony. Curious and concerned, Caleb joined a group of neighbors gathered near the main square. Everyone was staring at a small bundle left abandoned on the steps of the community hall. Caleb moved closer to see clearly, his heart tightening at the sight. Wrapped roughly in a dirty cloth lay an alien infant. The baby was tiny, its skin a mottled purple and gray, rough and scaled like a reptile. Large, round eyes, deep black with flickering hints of orange, stared curiously at the crowd. Its face, oddly shaped with protruding ridges and bumps, made many gasp in frightened disgust. "Who could leave such a creature here?" one woman whispered, shaking her head. "It must be dangerous," another man added firmly. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the gathering. The community leader Jonas stepped forward. He looked troubled, uncertain what to do. "This child cannot stay here," he declared finally. "It's too different, too dangerous." Caleb listened, quietly feeling a pang of sadness. He watched the tiny creature blink slowly, almost as if understanding its rejection. Before he realized what he was doing, Caleb spoke up. "I'll take care of the baby," he said, his voice clear and gentle. All eyes turned to Caleb, filled with shock and disbelief. Jonas stepped closer, frowning deeply. "Caleb, do you understand what you're saying? This creature might not even survive, let alone be safe around people." Caleb nodded, meeting Jonas's gaze steadily. "I understand. But we can't just abandon it. If no one else will take responsibility, then I will." There was silence. A few neighbors shook their heads, clearly uncomfortable, but no one else offered to help. Finally, Jonas sighed and gestured toward the infant. "Very well, Caleb. If you're sure, the responsibility is yours." Caleb gently lifted the tiny baby from the ground. The infant stared up at him, blinking softly. He felt warmth, a strange sense of calmness. "I'll call you Lila," he whispered quietly, so only she could hear. Taking Lila home, Caleb carefully prepared a small space for her. He cleaned her gently, fed her cautiously with warm milk from a bottle, hoping it would suit her strange biology. He noticed quickly that her diet and needs were different. The first night was tough, but he patiently tried to understand and accommodate her unique needs. Days passed, and Lila slowly adapted. Caleb learned what food she could eat, how she preferred to sleep, and what her different sounds meant. The bond between them grew stronger each day. Despite this, Caleb saw how people avoided him now, crossing the street or turning away whenever he appeared with Lila. It hurt him, but his commitment to the tiny creature remained strong. One evening, Caleb's closest friends, Daniel and Laura, visited. They had always supported him, but looked worried and unsure. Laura hesitated before speaking. "Caleb, you know we care about you, but are you sure about this? This child is so different." Caleb smiled gently, nodding his head. "I know she's different, but she's just a baby, Laura. She needs someone. Why not me?" Daniel sighed deeply, shaking his head but smiling warmly. "You're always looking out for others, Caleb. Just promise us you'll be careful." "I promise," Caleb assured them. Weeks became months. Caleb's life changed significantly, revolving entirely around Lila. He kept detailed notes about her growth and behavior. Slowly, he understood her more deeply. Lila began recognizing Caleb clearly, smiling at him in her own unique way, which warmed his heart. Neighbors continued to stare and whisper, but Caleb grew accustomed to their reactions. He focused only on Lila's well-being and happiness. Slowly, the routines became natural and the challenges more manageable. Caleb took pride in seeing Lila thrive under his care. One quiet afternoon, Caleb held Lila in his arms as he sat outside. Their modest home, enjoying the gentle warmth of the sun. Lila reached out a small, scaly hand and touched Caleb's face softly, gazing at him with eyes filled with trust. Caleb felt a deep wave of affection and knew, without any doubt, he had made the right choice. "We'll face everything together," Caleb whispered softly to her, feeling the strength of their unique family bond growing stronger than ever. As the months turned into years, Caleb's simple life adjusted to accommodate Lila, the alien baby he had bravely decided to care for. She grew quickly, and each day brought new surprises and challenges. Caleb learned to adapt, finding joy and pride in her unique accomplishments. Despite her appearance, Lila proved gentle and affectionate, deeply bonded with Caleb, whom she clearly saw as her father. One morning, Caleb was working outside, fixing a broken irrigation system, when he heard laughter. He glanced over to see Lila playing alone in the small garden behind their house. She had discovered a way to grow plants no one else on Orion V had succeeded in cultivating. The strange purple flowers bloomed brightly under her care. Caleb smiled as he watched her. "Lila, those flowers look beautiful," he called out softly. Lila turned, her round eyes shining. "Thank you, Dad. I knew you'd like them." Her voice had an unusual melodic quality, soothing to Caleb's ears. However, not everyone appreciated Lila's uniqueness. At the local school, the other children avoided her. They pointed and whispered about her strange appearance, making her feel lonely and different. Caleb saw the sadness in her eyes every day after school, breaking his heart. One evening after dinner, Lila asked quietly, "Why am I different, Dad? Why don't the other kids like me?" Caleb knelt beside her, gently taking her scaly hand in his. "You are special, Lila. Being different isn't bad. It means you have something unique to offer. They just don't understand yet." Determined to help her, Caleb started teaching Lila at home. He quickly discovered her incredible intelligence. She easily mastered complex mathematics, sciences, and languages, absorbing knowledge at an astonishing pace. Caleb was amazed and deeply proud. Word of Lila's abilities eventually spread through the small community. People were still unsure, even frightened, but curiosity began to replace fear for some. Daniel and Laura, Caleb's closest friends, started visiting more frequently, showing genuine interest in Lila's progress. One afternoon, watched in awe as Lila repaired an advanced piece of machinery with ease. He looked at Caleb, shaking his head in disbelief. "She really is something else, Caleb. I've never seen anyone do that so quickly." Caleb smiled proudly. "She just needed a chance. I'm glad you're seeing it now, too." Gradually, other neighbors approached Caleb, cautiously asking about Lila's skills. Some even asked her for advice with mechanical problems. Lila eagerly helped, enjoying the chance to interact positively with others. Her helpfulness slowly began changing attitudes. Despite this progress, Lila sometimes still felt lonely. Her one constant comfort was Caleb, whose unconditional love never faltered. Each evening, they sat together, sharing stories, dreams, and plans for the future. Their bond was unbreakable. One night, during a severe storm, a power outage left the entire colony without electricity. Panic spread quickly as vital systems failed. Caleb knew this was serious, and Lila understood immediately. She sprang into action, her mind racing with solutions. "Dad, I can fix this," she said calmly, grabbing her tools confidently. "Trust me." Caleb nodded, believing in her completely. "Go, Lila. I know you can do it." Lila raced to the colony's main power station. Caleb followed, accompanied by worried neighbors, including Jonas, the community leader. They watched nervously as Lila expertly navigated the complex systems, quickly identifying and repairing the damaged components. Within an hour, the lights flickered back to life. Relief flooded the community, replaced quickly by astonishment. At Lila's skill, people stared in awe and gratitude. Jonas stepped forward, speaking directly to her. "Lila, thank you." "We owe you a lot," Jonas admitted sincerely, his earlier doubts clearly fading. Lila smiled shyly, glancing proudly at Caleb. I just wanted to help. From that moment on, things slowly improved for Lila. Neighbors began greeting her warmly, respecting her knowledge and kindness. Caleb watched with immense pride as his daughter, once feared and rejected, became gradually accepted. One evening, Daniel and Laura joined Caleb and Lila for dinner, smiling warmly at her. Laura gently touched Lila's shoulder. We're proud of you, Lila. You've shown us all what courage and kindness truly mean. Caleb felt deep satisfaction and relief. Their small community, once fearful and hesitant, was finally seeing what he had always known. Lila was extraordinary. Later, as Caleb tucked Lila into bed, she hugged him tightly. Thank you for believing in me, Dad. Caleb kissed her forehead, feeling deep warmth and pride. Always, Lila. You've always been worth believing in. As he turned off the light, Caleb reflected on how far they'd come, filled with hope for their future together, grateful for the extraordinary daughter who had changed his life completely. As Lila grew into her teenage years, she continued to surprise Caleb and the entire colony on Orion V. Her quick mind and gentle personality had turned many skeptics into admirers. Caleb watched proudly as Lila found her own special place within their small community. One sunny afternoon, Lila walked with Caleb toward the market, greeting neighbors warmly along the way. People who once avoided her now smiled and waved happily. Lila returned their greetings with genuine warmth. Caleb felt a deep joy seeing how far things had come. At the market, vendors eagerly asked Lila for advice about their products or small mechanical issues. Lila patiently offered solutions, enjoying the interaction. Caleb watched from a distance, feeling deeply content. However, he noticed Jonas, the colony leader, approaching with a serious expression. Caleb, Lila, Jonas greeted quietly. I need to speak to you both privately. Caleb nodded, sensing this was important. Together, they followed Jonas to a quiet spot behind the market stalls. Jonas glanced around cautiously before speaking. We've received an official message, Jonas began. Carefully. An alien ship is approaching Orion V. They claim to be from Lila's species, and they want her returned immediately. Caleb's heart sank. Fear surged through him. He glanced at Lila, whose eyes were wide with surprise and worry. She stepped closer to Caleb, gripping his arm tightly. I don't want to leave, she said softly, her voice shaking slightly. This is my home. Caleb looked at Jonas, desperation clear in his voice. Do they say what they'll do if we refuse? Jonas sighed, his face grim. They mentioned nothing aggressive, but their tone wasn't friendly. They made it clear they expect cooperation. Lila looked deeply troubled. Caleb gently squeezed her shoulder, giving her comfort. We'll face this together, he reassured her softly. In the following days, tension filled the colony. People were nervous, whispering anxiously about the incoming alien ship. Caleb felt the weight of their fear, but his main concern remained protecting Lila. Lila, however, began studying everything she could about diplomacy and negotiations. Caleb found her late one night, surrounded by datapads, deep in research. Lila, you need rest, Caleb gently urged. She looked up, tired but determined. I must understand them, Dad. Maybe I can make them see I'm happy here. Touched by her strength and determination, Caleb hugged her tightly. We'll find a way. The day finally arrived when the alien ship entered Orion V's orbit. The community gathered anxiously, eyes locked on the sky. Caleb stood protectively beside Lila, his heart pounding. A shuttle descended, landing softly near the colony's main square. 3 tall figures emerged from the shuttle, their appearance similar to Lila's but older, larger, and intimidating. They approached slowly, their gaze fixed directly on her. The tallest alien stepped forward, speaking in a language unfamiliar to the colonists. Surprisingly, Lila understood and responded fluently. Caleb watched in amazement and pride as she conversed confidently. Her calm voice gradually softened the alien's stern expressions. Eventually, Lila turned to the gathered colonists, translating. They came because they thought I was taken forcibly. Lila explained clearly. They're worried for my safety. I told them you've cared for me and protected me. Caleb stepped forward. She's my daughter in every way that matters, he declared firmly, emotion thickening his voice. I raised her, and I love her deeply. The alien leader studied Caleb carefully, sensing his sincerity. Then, looking gently at Lila, the alien leader spoke again, softer this time. Lila listened, nodding slowly. She turned again to Caleb. They see how important we are to each other, Lila translated, smiling softly. They're willing to trust us and allow me to stay. They want peaceful relations with our colony. Relief washed over Caleb, tears stinging his eyes. The gathered colonists murmured in relief and excitement. The atmosphere instantly brightened out over the next few weeks. Lila acted as a bridge between her species and Orion V. The aliens shared. Technology and knowledge strengthened the colony significantly. Lila's diplomacy impressed everyone, clearly showing her wisdom beyond her years. One evening, Caleb and Lila sat quietly outside their home, watching the stars. Caleb felt deep peace and pride. You did an amazing thing, he said softly, gazing warmly at her. You brought understanding between two worlds. Lila smiled softly, resting her head on Caleb's shoulder. I learned everything from you, Dad. You taught me kindness, strength, and courage. Caleb felt his heart swell with love. He looked up at the stars, grateful for the strange path life had taken. The tiny, unusual baby everyone feared had grown into a remarkable young woman, now cherished and respected by all. Holding her close, Caleb knew he had found something extraordinary in the most unexpected place. Together, they faced a future full of possibilities, strengthened by the unbreakable bond they had built. Lila had become a young adult, respected and admired by everyone on Orion V. Caleb watched proudly as his adopted daughter flourished, confident and kind. The entire colony benefited greatly from the alliance she had forged with her alien species. 1. Bright morning, Caleb was helping Lila prepare for an important event. The colony had decided to celebrate their newfound friendship with Lila's alien people through a large festival. Lila was nervous but excited, carefully checking every detail. Caleb reassured her warmly. Everything looks perfect, Lila, he encouraged, smiling gently. You've done a wonderful job. She smiled softly, glancing around the square filled with decorations and cheerful preparations. I want everyone to enjoy today, Dad. It means so much to me. Caleb squeezed her shoulder gently. They will. You brought something special to Orion V. The festival started beautifully. Humans and aliens mingled freely, sharing food, stories, and laughter. Caleb walked slowly among the crowd, amazed at the harmony around him. Lila moved confidently, warmly greeting everyone. As the day progressed, Caleb noticed Jonas approaching, him smiling warmly. Jonas had grown older, kinder, and wiser over the years, deeply changed by witnessing Caleb's unwavering support for Lila. Caleb, Jonas began, his voice filled with genuine warmth. I want to thank you personally. Your courage and kindness changed everything for us. You showed us the true meaning of family. Caleb felt deeply moved by Jonas's words. He nodded humbly, glancing toward Lila, who stood surrounded by friends from both worlds. It was Lila who made the difference, Caleb said sincerely. I just gave her the chance. Jonas smiled knowingly. You gave her much more than that, Caleb. Suddenly, Caleb noticed a disturbance at the edge of the celebration. A young alien from Lila's species appeared distressed, speaking urgently. Lila quickly approached, calming him with her gentle presence. After listening carefully, she turned to Caleb and Jonas with concern. There's trouble, Lila explained, worry evident on her face. Another nearby human colony, Aurora, is experiencing a critical food shortage. They're asking for immediate help. Jonas frowned deeply, clearly troubled. Aurora is quite distant, and our supplies are limited. Lila stepped forward determinedly. We must help, Jonas. We have the technology and knowledge my species share with us. We can produce more food quickly if we work together. Caleb felt pride swell within him, seeing Lila take charge decisively. Jonas nodded thoughtfully, recognizing the wisdom in her words. Quickly, the colony organized a team, with Lila leading the project. Days turned into weeks of hard work. Caleb supported Lila tirelessly, helping coordinate the efforts. The aliens willingly contributed their advanced knowledge, speeding up food production dramatically. Lila's leadership motivated everyone to work harmoniously and efficiently. Finally, enough food was ready for transport to Aurora. Lila, Caleb, and a small delegation boarded the shuttle to deliver the supplies personally. As they approached Aurora, Caleb noticed the dire condition of the colony, its land dry and desolate. Clearly desperate for help, Aurora's leaders greeted them gratefully, relief evident on their tired faces. They watched in amazement as food was quickly distributed, bringing immediate hope and relief. Lila carefully explained the new agricultural methods, promising long-term solutions. Aurora's colony leader spoke sincerely. "You have saved us. We owe you so much," Lila replied humbly. "We are glad to help. Unity and cooperation make us all stronger." Back on Orion V, celebrations erupted again as news of Aurora's relief reached the colony. Caleb stood quietly, watching proudly as Lila received praise from both humans and aliens. She had grown into an extraordinary leader, beloved by all. Late that evening, Caleb and Lila walked home under a sky filled with glittering stars. Caleb glanced at Lila, deeply proud of the strong, compassionate woman she'd become. "You did something incredible today," he said warmly. Lila smiled softly, taking his hand gently. "I learned from the best, Dad. You showed me kindness, strength, and patience. Without you, none of this would have happened." Caleb shook his head, his heart filled with deep affection. "No, Lila. You always had this strength inside you. I just gave you the support to find it." They walked quietly for a moment, enjoying the peaceful night. Caleb felt deep gratitude for the unexpected journey his life had taken. What had started as a simple act of kindness years ago had transformed into a beautiful adventure full of meaning and joy. Caleb squeezed Lila's hand softly, grateful beyond words. "I am so proud of you, Lila." Lila stopped, gazing deeply into Caleb's eyes, her voice filled with emotion. "And I'm forever grateful you became my dad." Standing under the vast expanse of stars, father and daughter embraced tightly, knowing their bond had forever changed their lives and the lives of countless others for the better. Life continued peacefully on Orion V, thanks largely to Lila's ongoing efforts and Caleb's steady support. The bond between humans and aliens strengthened further, creating harmony on the colony. Caleb spent his days assisting with repairs, while Lila continued her studies, often teaching and guiding others. One quiet evening, while Caleb and Lila sat comfortably at home, a sudden message arrived. It was urgent news from Earth. A severe disaster had struck one of Earth's largest cities, causing extensive damage. Thousands of people were stranded, lacking food, shelter, and medical help. The message requested immediate assistance from the Orion V colony, specifically mentioning Lila's expertise. Caleb saw the concern on Lila's face as she finished reading. "Dad, I must go and help them," Lila said decisively. Caleb nodded calmly. "I know, Lila. They need you. I'll support you in every way I can." Within hours, preparations began. Layla carefully selected a team, including Daniel and Laura, and Caleb joined to provide technical support. Supplies were quickly gathered, and soon their shuttle departed Orion V, heading toward Earth. Arriving at the damaged city, the devastation shocked everyone. Buildings lay in ruins, streets were filled with rubble, and desperate families sought refuge. Lila immediately organized relief efforts, providing food, medical aid, and shelter to survivors. Caleb worked tirelessly beside her, ensuring equipment and technology functioned smoothly. During their relief work, a young girl named Mia, who had lost her family, followed Lila constantly, clearly fascinated by her alien appearance and compassionate nature. Lila gently comforted Mia, ensuring she felt safe and cared for. "You're not alone," Lila assured Mia softly. "We'll make sure you find a good home." Caleb watched this interaction, deeply touched by Lila's kindness. It reminded him vividly of when he first found Lila herself, abandoned and alone. Days turned into weeks of tireless work. Lila coordinated efficiently with Earth's relief agencies, sharing her advanced knowledge to rebuild infrastructure and heal injured survivors. Her efforts significantly sped up recovery. One afternoon, while Lila discussed plans with Earth officials, Caleb noticed a familiar, anxious face among the crowd. It was Jonas from Orion V. Surprise. Caleb approached quickly. "Jonas, what's happened?" Caleb asked urgently. "Caleb," Jonas explained nervously, "we've just learned an unknown threat is approaching. Orion V communication signals are disrupted. We're deeply worried." Caleb felt immediate alarm. "We must tell Lila right away." Lila quickly learned of the threat, her calm presence reassuring Jonas. "We must return to Orion V at once," she decided. Earth can now continue recovery efforts independently. Within hours, they boarded their shuttle, anxiety heavy in the air. As they neared Orion V, they spotted a large, unidentified spaceship already in orbit. Caleb's heart pounded anxiously. Upon landing, they found colonists panicked, gathered. In fear, Lila stepped forward confidently, immediately organizing everyone. "Stay calm," she assured firmly. "We'll find a peaceful solution." Using advanced communication technology, Lila quickly established contact with the unknown vessel. The aliens aboard introduced themselves as explorers, unaware their presence caused fear. They apologized sincerely, requesting permission to visit Orion V peacefully. Lila graciously invited them, easing tension immediately. Soon, a new group of aliens visited Orion V, warmly welcomed by Lila, Caleb, and the colony. The visitors shared valuable knowledge and technology, further benefiting Orion V. Caleb watched proudly as Lila diplomatically navigated yet another delicate situation, turning potential crisis into friendship. Her calm, compassionate manner continued to deeply impress him. One evening, after peace returned, Caleb and Lila visited Mia, the orphan girl from Earth. She had settled comfortably on Orion V, warmly embraced by the community. Mia smiled brightly when she saw Lila. "Lila," Mia said excitedly, hugging her tightly, "thank you for bringing me here. I feel safe and happy." Caleb's heart warmed, remembering Lila's own difficult beginning. He knew Lila saw herself reflected in Mia's hopeful eyes. Later, walking home under bright stars, Caleb and Lila shared quiet conversation. "You've given Mia a chance at a better life," Caleb remarked softly. Lila looked deeply at Caleb, her voice tender. "You taught me the value of giving others a chance, Dad. Without you, I wouldn't be here." Caleb paused, gently squeezing her hand. "And without you, my life would have lacked so much meaning. You've brought kindness, strength, and endless love to Orion V." Lila smiled warmly, resting her head against Caleb's shoulder. "Together we can overcome anything, Dad." Looking up at the endless stars, Caleb felt deep gratitude. Years ago, he'd made a simple choice, taking in a strange, abandoned child. That choice had blossomed into a remarkable journey, filled with challenges, triumphs, and extraordinary joy. Together, father and daughter walked onward, confident and united. Life on Orion V continued peacefully, with Lila becoming a trusted leader and Caleb by her side, quietly supporting her every step. The community flourished through their guidance and the bonds they had forged with multiple alien species. Lila's efforts had turned Orion V into a thriving colony known for unity and progress. One peaceful afternoon, Caleb was repairing some equipment when he noticed an unfamiliar shuttle descending toward their community. Curious and slightly concerned, He stopped his work to see what was happening. Lila appeared beside him, equally curious but calm. "Do we know who's visiting?" Caleb asked. "Not exactly," Lila replied thoughtfully. They didn't signal ahead clearly. The shuttle landed gently, doors opening smoothly. A figure emerged, tall and elegant, an alien similar in appearance to Lila's species but older, dressed in ornate clothing. Caleb sensed the importance of this visitor immediately. Lila stepped forward respectfully, greeting the visitor in their native language. The elder alien responded warmly, clearly impressed by her fluent speech. After a brief exchange, Lila turned to Caleb with an amazed expression. "Dad, this is Ambassador Kellen from my birth planet. He's come to invite me officially to visit my homeworld." Caleb felt his heart tighten slightly. He had always known this day might come, but it still brought mixed feelings. However, he smiled warmly, hiding his uncertainty. "That's wonderful. Lila, it's important you know your heritage." Ambassador Kellen explained kindly. "Lila, your birth family deeply regrets losing you. They've asked me to bring you home, even if only briefly." Lila hesitated, clearly torn. She looked deeply at Caleb. "Will you come with me, Dad? I can't imagine going alone." Caleb nodded gently. "Of course I'll go. Wherever you need me, I'll be there." Preparations began quickly. Caleb and Lila packed essentials, feeling both excitement and nervousness. The community gathered to wish them well, supportive yet quietly anxious. Soon they boarded Ambassador Kellen's ship, traveling swiftly across the vast reaches of space. Lila spent the journey, asking questions, learning more about her origin and culture. Caleb watched proudly as she absorbed everything eagerly. When they arrived, the beauty of Lila's homeworld amazed them both. Its landscape was lush, vibrant, and filled with striking colors. Tall, intricate structures marked cities, reflecting advanced technology and artistry. Waiting at the landing site were two alien beings, who immediately approached Lila with emotional intensity. Caleb instantly recognized a deep family resemblance. They were Lila's biological parents. The reunion was emotional. Lila embraced him, feeling both happiness and confusion. Her parents expressed deep regret, explaining how she'd been lost. During an attack by raiders years earlier, Caleb stood back quietly, feeling suddenly uncertain. However, Lila quickly turned, introducing Caleb warmly. "This is Caleb, my human dad. He raised me, cared for me, and taught me everything I know." Lila's birth parents approached Caleb respectfully, gratitude clear in their eyes. "Thank you," her mother said softly. "You've given us the greatest gift possible, our daughter's life and happiness." Caleb felt deeply touched, nodding humbly. "It was my honor. Lila has enriched my life more than you could ever know." During their stay, Lila's birth family showed them around the city, introducing them to important leaders and officials. Everywhere, Caleb saw how deeply respected and admired Lila had become, even among her own people. Her diplomatic achievements on Orion V had made her famous. One evening, as the sun set beautifully over the alien city, Lila sat quietly with Caleb on a balcony overlooking the breathtaking landscape. She spoke softly. "Dad, do you think I should stay here with my birth family?" Caleb took a deep breath, gently taking her hand. "Lila, you must choose whatever feels right for you. You've always been strong and wise. Follow your heart. I'll always support you." Lila leaned closer, her voice firm but tender. "My heart tells me my home is Orion V, with you and the family we built there. I cherish this reunion, but you're my family, Dad." Caleb felt immense relief and warmth. "You have always been my family too, Lila. Nothing could change that." When the visit concluded, Lila's birth family understood her decision completely. Grateful she'd found such love and stability with Caleb, they promised regular contact, strengthening ties between Orion V and their planet. Returning to Orion V, Caleb and Lila were warmly welcomed home by their community. Lila shared her experiences enthusiastically. deeply appreciating the journey but reaffirming her true place was with those she'd grown up with. Late that night, as stars filled the quiet sky, Caleb felt immense peace and gratitude. The tiny abandoned child he'd once bravely chosen to protect had become a beacon of hope, unity, and love. Beside him, Lila gazed upward, her voice calm and certain. "Thank you, Dad, for everything," she whispered softly. Caleb smiled warmly, knowing he had received far more than he'd ever given. "No, Lila, thank you. You've taught me the greatest lessons about love and family. Together, we've built something truly special." Under the endless stars, father and daughter stood united, stronger than ever. Years passed, and Orion V had transformed into a shining example of cooperation and peace across many planets. Lila continued her essential role as an ambassador, bridging humans and multiple alien civilizations. Caleb, older now but strong in spirit, stood by her proudly, still actively supporting the community. One warm afternoon, Caleb sat quietly in their small garden, watching Lila help children from different species learn together. His heart filled with joy seeing her gentle patience and kindness. It reminded him vividly of how far they had come since he first took her in. Daniel and Laura joined Caleb, smiling warmly as they watched Lila interact with the young ones. "She's remarkable," Laura said softly, admiration clear in her voice. Caleb nodded, pride evident in his eyes. "She's always been special. She just needed someone to believe in her." Daniel chuckled softly. "You gave her more than belief, Caleb. You gave her a home, love, and family. You changed all our lives." Caleb felt deeply moved, silently appreciating his friend's support through the years. Together, they'd watch Lila grow from an abandoned baby to an extraordinary leader. As they spoke, Jonas approached, now a respected elder of the colony. He greeted Caleb warmly. "Caleb, we have a special request from the council. They'd like Lila to officially lead Orion V. Her skills, compassion, and wisdom have deeply impressed everyone." Caleb smiled, unsurprised but delighted. "She's earned it. I'll speak to her tonight." That evening, Caleb sat with Lila, sharing the council's request. She listened carefully, thoughtful yet calm. "Dad, it's a huge responsibility," Lila said quietly, her eyes reflecting both excitement and worry. Caleb took her hand, speaking reassuringly. "Lila, you've proven time and again you're ready. You've always had a gift for leading with kindness and wisdom." Lila considered his words carefully, finally nodding. "If you believe in me, Dad, I know I can do it." Soon, a grand ceremony was arranged, attended by leaders from numerous planets and colonies. Caleb proudly stood beside Lila, who was poised and graceful as she officially accepted leadership of Orion V. Addressing the gathered crowd, Lila spoke sincerely. "Together, we have built unity and friendship. My father taught me kindness, strength, and acceptance. I promise to continue guiding Orion V with the same love and courage he showed me." Applause filled the air, heartfelt and enthusiastic. Caleb felt tears of pride, realizing fully the incredible journey they'd shared. Months turned into years under Lila's leadership. Orion V thrived, becoming renowned across space for peace and cooperation. Caleb remained close, his wisdom invaluable to Lila. He quietly observed how naturally she navigated complex situations, always choosing compassion and understanding. One day, a familiar ship arrived at Orion V. Ambassador Kellen returned, this time accompanied by Lila's biological parents, who warmly greeted Caleb. "Caleb," Lila's birth mother said emotionally, "we came to thank you again, deeply. Lila has become a symbol of unity and peace." "You raised her wonderfully," Caleb humbly replied. "It was an honor. Lila's always been extraordinary. She just needed love and support." That evening, a special gathering celebrated their enduring friendship and collaboration. Humans and aliens mingled joyfully, sharing stories and dreams for the future. Caleb stood quietly beside Lila, absorbing the happiness around him. Later, Beneath Orion V's clear night sky, Caleb spoke softly to Lila. When I first found you, small and alone, I never imagined how beautifully life would unfold. You have been my greatest joy and pride. Lila gently hugged Caleb, her voice full of warmth. You gave me everything: dad love, courage, and hope. I could never have done any of this without you. Caleb squeezed her hand, smiling warmly. You had it all inside you, Lila. I was just there to help you find it. They stood quietly, gazing upward, grateful for the incredible journey they'd shared. Caleb felt immense pride, deeply satisfied seeing the lasting impact of a single act of kindness. As Caleb grew older, Lila stayed close, ensuring he remained healthy and happy. The community deeply respected and cherished him, always remembering his courage and kindness. Eventually, Caleb passed peacefully, surrounded by Lila, Daniel, Laura, Jonas, and countless others who loved him dearly. Orion V mourned deeply, but celebrated his life with warmth and gratitude. Lila stood bravely at his memorial, speaking lovingly. Caleb showed us the power of kindness, acceptance, and courage. His simple act of taking me in changed countless lives, including mine. The colony vowed to uphold Caleb's legacy, ensuring kindness and acceptance remained at the core of Orion V's values. Years later, as Orion V continued flourishing, Lila often visited Caleb's resting place. She spoke quietly, "You were my hero, Dad. Your love changed everything." Under the stars, Orion V stood as a powerful reminder of Caleb's extraordinary compassion and courage, forever honoring the human who opened his heart to an abandoned alien baby, changing worlds and lives profoundly.